Hello, welcome to Recomp with Bill. My name is Bill. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and my goals for this channel. As of August 20th, 2024, I am 48 years old. I'm 5'8". I weigh 235 pounds. When I joined the gym in November 13th, 2023, so about 10 months ago, I weighed 295 pounds with significantly less muscle. You have to lose at least 10% of your body weight before people start really noticing, and I think that worked out. I think it's a little bit more than that even, because I was probably down to about 240, 245 from 290 before people started really noticing. More importantly, though, than my weight is the fact that I was angry all the time. I used to think that I was angry because of just life circumstances and just a lot of the excuses people make up for themselves. But I realized that there were some serious connections between my anger and my physical health. More importantly, I realized that if I didn't make some changes to my physical health, I wasn't going to live much longer. And if I didn't make some changes to my mental health, I was going to die unhappy. And the people around me were going to have to work pretty hard to find nice things to say about me at my funeral. So I could see clearly that my anger was pretty directly connected to my obesity. I don't make very much money, and I used to blame a lot of my anger on that. Like I said, we make excuses for things, but that's not really it. That's like frustration. Everybody deals with that kind of stuff. My anger was more tied to a sense of identity. And without getting too deep into it, I can sum it up by saying that my father was a pretty violent man, and he was also morbidly obese. It's not fair to connect these things, but I was very young when I knew him before we put him out of the house. And so my memories of him are not very solid, and mostly I have the images. And so the imagery of that obese man is connected to the violence. And so when I look at what I want to change in myself, it becomes difficult. It's not fair to connect those things, but there it is. And it's difficult to see yourself as different from the person you really want to be different from when you look the same. But aside from obvious psychological reasoning, I also had to wonder if there is something physiological going on with my diet. Something that's going to make me angrier than I might have been even with those issues. I can tell you that having lost 60 pounds so far, I do feel a lot more in control of my anger than I was before. Part of this is undoubtedly self-esteem. I'm not going to deny that. But I think part of it is also the changes in my sugar and caffeine levels, and undoubtedly some other issues, maybe just not being tired all the time. Just thought I'd give you that as the background, because ironically, that is the impetus. That is what kicked it all off for me, was the realization that my emotional health was bringing me down, and that was, in order to fix that, I had to fix my physical health. I'm sure as I transform, this channel will also transform, so I can't guarantee exactly what the content will be in the coming years, but I know I have plans to show you some of the recipes that I've developed. I'll also be giving some workout ideas. I think some of the advice that's out there in a lot of these YouTubes, it come from really just impressive individuals, but a lot of them are working with schedules and it's their job. This is what they do. So my goal here is to share what maybe a normal, an everyday person can do, who's not competing, who's not trying to be show-worthy, but still wants to be happy with their body, right? And maybe waited a long time to do it. As I said, I'm 48 years old. You might be thinking it's too late for you. I've seen tremendous growth and tremendous fat loss in the past year. I feel a lot better about myself, and I think that you could too if you're worried about that. You don't have to be a gym rat. You don't have to take steroids. You don't have to do any of these things that are going to make you feel morally compromised or put your life at risk. If you see something that I'm doing here that doesn't make sense, call it out. I want to remind everybody that I'm not an expert. You shouldn't do anything that I'm recommending unless you like to talk to somebody first. You can learn from me, as in learning from my mistakes. I think that's what I can offer to you the most. So hopefully you can get something out of this channel. And if you do, I'd love to hear from you, especially if you have some advice for improving my form or my diet. See you next time.